guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Oh, hold on. That music's not going to cut it. That music's not going to cut it. Nope. Sorry. Let's try this again with the proper music, boys.
We're gonna win, twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, twins.
I mean, what?
I looked at the pass and tweet that I think Declan or Phil sent last night. I woke up this morning and looked at it and thought, "Oh, it's a joke. It's a fake account." Then I looked again. I am still looking at it, like trying. My brain will not allow me to comprehend the Carlos Correa to the Twins news. It won't.
I texted you guys. Let's see here. I'm just trying to go back. I've got like five text threads now. Early this morning, late last night. Some people that were up. I was up for 2 hours just like tweeting. I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I spent the first 10 minutes sort of groggily and.
And what time was it there, Phil?
Old Macadac had a couple beverages last night too.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Well, wait, 7:06. Oh no, when did I text you guys? Oh, it was. So I texted you guys at 12:19 a.m. Pacific Northwest time.
Right.
And I think the deal went down like maybe 30 or 60 minutes before that. So like it was 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2 o'clock Eastern time when this thing went down.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I was so Passon was up. You know, I'm sure Passon maybe he got a tip like, "Hey, don't go to bed" or something. And I was looking for the blue check mark, and then I'm like, "Is that a real blue check mark? Am I still kind of drunk? I don't know what's happening."
That's exactly
Thank God for waking up in the middle of the night to go take a leak, huh? Isn't it great? You check your phone. Sometimes I don't check my phone. I'm glad I checked my phone this time.
Oh, I always check my phone. But at 2:19, I am not. I am in a dead sleep at that point in time. But it was hilarious because
We're gonna win, twins.
Oh no! Yeah, I mean, what the hell just happened here?
So, well, let's unpack it.
What's going on?
We're live on the Score North YouTube channel right now. For anyone who's hanging out for the first time, you can click subscribe, and the like button helps spread the word about the show here. Mackie and Judd, a little daily Minnesota sports entertainment, and an emergency episode here. Alex chimes in the YouTube comment section. "You're bleeping me" was the first words I said in reaction to this. So it's a 3-year contract. And by the way, Carlos Correa was the number 1 overall pick in Byron Buxton's draft. So the Twins now have the number 1 and number 2 picks in that draft. And they're two of the best players overall in baseball when they're healthy, and they're two of the best defensive players at the two most important premium defensive positions in center field and shortstop. Yeah. So I've already gotten a few negative Nancys out there. "That's great, but can Carlos Correa pitch?" Well, here's the beauty. Gold Glove shortstop, and the analytics back it up. He was number 1 in defensive runs saved last year. So analytics, scouting, eye test, he is going to save runs just like Byron Buxton and help pitchers that way. But it's a 3-year contract, $35.1 million per year. But it's a genius contract for Scott Boras, the agent, and for Carlos Correa in that there are opt-outs after each year. So, you know, it's a little like there's a little bit of, oh, it's a little too good to be true. It's not like a true 3-year ironclad contract, but it makes sense for everyone involved because Correa can hit free agency again when he's I think he's 28 right now. So he's the highest paid infielder in baseball by like $100,000 now. He can hit free agency again if he has an amazing season and thinks he can get an 8-year deal from somebody, which probably wouldn't come from the Twins. If it's kind of a meh season, he can opt back in, and the Twins can have him for a second season. If he's a 1-year mercenary and the Twins let him walk in free agency, then maybe Royce Lewis is ready unless they trade him for Montas, the A's number 1 starting pitcher. But the other thing here, too, is he just helps you contend this year. So forget about like 2023, 24. The Twins are always seemingly withholding chips for like future poker games, right? Well, I mean, we got a pretty good team, 2019. I don't know. We don't want to give away prospects too aggressive, but already this offseason they traded one of their top pitching prospects, and they just signed Carlos Correa to the biggest average annual money deal in team history. And I wouldn't be shocked if they follow this up by trading another top prospect to the A's for Montas. That would be fun.
So the Correa camp, Scott Boras, who is the most powerful, I think without a doubt, agent in baseball and among the most powerful in all of sports, they must have blamed the market on the lockout. And I know that they had pretty in-depth conversations, I think right before the lockout, with the Tigers, and the Tigers made a substantial offer to them and they turned that down. Coming out of the lockout, I want to say they talked to Baltimore, but I mean, Baltimore can pay you, but they're a mess as well. And there was talk as recently as a week ago, I think you guys, that he might go back to the Astros on a short-term contract. Again, he did not. So I think what this is I think that this is in some ways a great mercenary marriage on both parts.
It is.
Because, I mean, a week ago, the Twins literally punted $50 million to the Yankees, threw in the guy that, if you're to believe what they have told us, they had said a day before, we've got our shortstop now, which might have been a lie too. I don't know. But the point is, a week ago, we all said, what the hell are you doing and why? And a week hence, they have now entered into an agreement with the guy who might be here for, yes, 1 year. But the reality is this. Think about the excitement. Like, we're doing a show now. Like, sports is, I am all for building a team. And I think that's great. And I think that long-term success is born from that. But the reality, too, is there are just certain times where it makes sense to say, we don't really have a good team. It's not a terrible team. It's not a great team. Need some help. But if we add player X, it's going to change the dynamic completely. And so I think from both sides, it is a shotgun marriage. It is, I'm sure to some, this isn't going to work, whatever. And at this point in time, I got two words for you. Who cares? do you care?
No.
There's a little update too here from Bob Nightingale on Correa. So Correa has a limited no-trade clause in 2022 and a full no-trade clause in 23 and 24 in his 3-year, $105 million contract with the Twins.
So he has full leverage and control here over the year-to-year of this contract.
Yes.
That's fine. Use me. I just want to see.
That's exactly what this is.
I just want to see some. I want to see the Twins win a freaking playoff game for the first time since 2004.
Prettiest girl in high school just said, I really can't find a good date, and we're really good friends. Do you want to go?
Yeah. And as some people are pointing out here, too, the Yankees generally work the Twins when it matters in October. But I'm reading this from Jared Carabas, who just migrated from Barstool Sports. He's the Barstool baseball guy. Let's take a moment to acknowledge that Yankee fans desperately wanted Carlos Correa, but instead the Yankees made a trade that provided the Twins with the salary relief that they needed to sign Carlos Correa. God bless. They did. And it made, we are kind of sitting here late in the week. Why would you dump the Josh? I get Josh Donaldson's, like, you're not dying to have him on your team. He's injured all the time, and he's, 36 years old. But what would be the point of acquiring Sonny Gray for a top prospect and then dumping Josh Donaldson and kind of shuffling deck chairs without other moves? And the other moves were always, it was sort of like, are they going to get Trevor Story? And then news came out that the Red Sox were the leaders, but now the Yankees are in. But Carlos Correa's name, I don't think, was ever a thing, even before the lockout.
No, it was not.
No.
It's amazing. Scott Boras is the new agent for Carlos Correa. He fired his agent earlier this offseason. He's also the agent for Royce Lewis. So this, I think Judd's right. This is you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. We need a shortstop until Royce Lewis is ready, and we're looking for another big piece. A 6-win player, by the way, according to Fangraphs WAR. And you guys are looking for $35.1 million a year and some year-to-year flexibility to maybe cash in on a multi-year contract. Why don't you use us for a year or two, get what you want? We'll use you to contend this year. It'll be great.
So prepare the song, because what I'm about to say might be
Prepare the song.
Prepare the song.
And I'm about to make a comparison that is going to be, but I'm trying to think back on actual good players who came here as complete and utter, just 1 year mercenary types, right?
In their prime.
And I got one name. The one name comes to mind. 1 year. Black Jack Morris.
We're gonna
Mercenaries is us. Mercenary, get your mercenary.
And then the Blue Jays wound up giving him a massive contract, and that's
he
cool.
opted
Whatever,
out.
dude.
I
Totally cool.
believe he just said, I'm gone. I mean, they didn't pay him sufficiently, but the
Yeah.
point is you did win a World Series.
Yeah. So here is, by my account, and by the way, Jeff Lasota chimes in the YouTube comments here. Has anyone seen Correa's stat line at Target Field? Good God. I think he has a 1,200 OPS at Target Field.
I think he's hitting like 400 something in 15
all?
games.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all.
I thought it was better than that.
Let
Oh,
me look
forget
up
it then.
here. It's fine. Small sample size.
Check it out.
Hashtag.
Do you
we
guys
kill
care
the
that he
deal?
cheated, by the way? That he's like
No.
like the central figure of one of the biggest cheating scandals in sports
You know
history?
what?
Do you guys
You
care
know,
about that?
I
I'm
don't know.
I'm over that.
No, I'm
Let's
I'm
get
over
it. Who cares?
I don't know.
Bring the trash cans, buddy. I don't care. No,
Yep.
for all God's
Yep,
sakes.
exactly right. And you know why
cares,
I
man?
don't care? Here's why I don't care. I don't care because baseball right now is in a place where there are so many problems that if you can get one of the best players, screw it, just do it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Like it's not
Exactly.
like, oh, it's been this pristine game with no problems except for Carlos Correa. Nah, whole thing's a mess.
Yeah.
I don't care. Make summer fun.
All right, so it's a small sample size alert, but he's had 70 plate appearances at Target Field, and a lot of those plate appearances might have come against subpar pitching, but he's hitting 413. You should never use this like as a sustainable model for performance, but in those 70 plate appearances, 413 batting average, a 443 on base, and a 1205 OPS. 12 extra base hits in 70 plate appearances at Target Field so he likes the batter's eye, I think, and maybe some of the crappy Twins pitching that he's
Dex.
had to face.
You have to be ecstatic because I think on this show now you are officially the biggest Twins fan. Like you've got opening day tickets.
I was waist deep in Twins Kool-Aid, about 2 days ago when I bought opening day tickets.
Exactly.
I'm drowning almost. It's up to my lips here. Like I don't have much more room between me and the ground. I'm all in, dude.
It's funny, we were talking about this last week on Mackie and Judd too, that we've only talked Twins like 3 times since July. I think when Buxton signed his contract, we talked about that. We did like a post trade deadline sort of, put the season to bed, and we've been doing this show, going back to our 4-hour radio show on 1500 ESPN for over 8 years. And I think we've always loved and prided ourselves on, hey, you want the best, most entertaining daily Twins conversations? We're here for you.
Yeah.
But they just made it so hard. And then there was the emergence of the winter teams, and the Vikings have been so interesting. And you guys, the audience, we see some of the metrics via podcast and website clicks and YouTube and stuff. It's like people didn't care. The level of apathy was, I think it's the most apathetic I've ever seen the Twins fan base. Like when they were clearly off to a terrible start and out of it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But this is what you do, man. Like if you're Derek Falvey woke up this offseason and chose danger, and I love it. I mean, he had such a bad 2-year stretch with transactions, and they were so timid at the trade deadline when they had the best power hitting team in baseball. The Josh Donaldson signing was big, and it was pretty ballsy. But I don't know what clicked with them, but they clearly said, all right, we're going to get fired if this thing doesn't get back on the rails. And we still have a great young nucleus, so let's just go for it.
I think it's a little bit like Office Space. Derek was a good employee, right? Like he was doing what he was told to do, and the bosses were like, "Hey," and Derek was sort of, he was crunching the stats, sort of a nerd. And Derek finally said, "I'm gonna get cool. I'm gonna make some cool moves." And this, yes, yeah, put the calculator away, take the glasses off, put on the shades, dude. And it feels like this is the type of move where I think the line from what's the film? Risky Business, I believe, is sometimes you have to say what the F. This feels like that type of move. Sometimes you just have to say what the F. And now, so let's go down the imaginary path too here, okay? Let's say they're not done because they probably shouldn't be. And my guess is if you're this far into the pool, you're going deep end, right? Like I wouldn't think that you would stop here. is the next move to seriously consider what would be considered a pretty big damn trade with the A's, in
Yes.
which Royce Lewis, your one-time untouchable, is sent to the A's for pitching help that now gives you a top of the rotation. I can't believe I'm saying all of this. Who am I? Who are the Twins? Sonny Gray and one
Frankie-
of those two.
Dude, Frankie Montas. He's
Yes.
a, he's a
What
badass.
What about that?
Yeah,
What about
dude,
that?
Yes, 100%.
Go.
Yeah,
Gonna win,
dude.
Twins,
So
we're gonna score.
I think you have to do it, and you've got.
Hey.
Oh, is this
It's
Vincent?
Vinny. Vinny.
Oh,
Vinny.
Little bacon, buddy. There you go.
Who's a good boy?
Oh, Vinny, you're what a precious little doggy. I
Who's a
love
good
that.
boy?
Oh, Vinny, are you
Vinny
happy
Vinny
today?
might be the number 5 starter
He
for the
might be the
Twins,
number
though. If they
5
don't,
starter.
they got to make one more move, or Vinny's
Can you
gonna have to
pitch?
warm up the labrum.
Can you pitch?
Oh, Vinny's giving you
You can pitch.
kisses.
Go pitch. Go find us Frankie Montas. Go find him for us.
What a good boy.
So Frankie Montas is 29 years old. He last season he was one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. He was 6th in American League Cy Young voting, and he struck out 10 batters per 9 innings. Like he's a badass. He would be the Twins' number 1 starter, even above Sonny Gray. But it's probably going to cost you one of your top 5 prospects, because there's 2 years left of team control. He only made $1.8 million last year, so if you're a team like the Twins and you're not going to go up to $200 million payroll, he fits right in there. If you can do that, and maybe and who knows, maybe you enter the season and it's more of a trade deadline thing, like a June or July trade. But I don't think you have 3 months. It's not like you're a 100-win team right now. Like you're not that you're good, but there's still some major question marks. I think you got to pull the trigger on a trade like that now to help you build wins early in the season. But your rotation would be Frankie Montas, Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, who we saw in September last year.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Bundy has been kind of a bust, but he did pop up in the COVID year and finished top 10 in American League Cy Young voting. And then Bailey Ober was solid. Like Bailey Ober as like a number 4, number 5 starter. The bullpen, okay, Taylor Rogers, health pending. Tyler Duffy, turned it around second half last year. I still like Jorge Alcala. But they have a bunch of young, interesting arms that are going to come through at some point. And I think if you can start to infiltrate your bullpen with some of those young arms, it takes a little bit less pressure, or a little bit more pressure off those guys. So if they make one more pitching move, I'm not as down on this pitching staff as a lot of other people. So,
From
Yeah.
the Twitter account of Marley Rivera, who I think is ordinarily on the Yankees beat, but also does a very good job. She tweets, the Minnesota Twins continue in talks with Oakland in their pursuit of Frankie Montas. Sources tell ESPN.
dude, I mean, come on.
We're gonna win,
This is
Twins,
wow,
we're
dude.
gonna score.
I think I'm dreaming. I think I haven't woke up yet, and I'm having this weird dream that I'm going to tell you guys about in statements on Monday.
What are they doing?
I don't
What
know.
are they doing?
It's like they got a 84 pack of Surly, and they've
Yeah.
gone crazy, and I love it.
It's just ridiculous, dude. And they're also everything that they have been rightfully criticized for on this show, across multiple other media outlets. They don't trade top prospects for established players, right? They're always, I don't know if we can do that. Oh God, Aaron Hicks for.
I don't think so. The numbers say we shouldn't
I
make
don't
that trade.
know.
It's a
What
top
if-
prospect.
What if this prospect?
Cost
It's always like
hey, no, we can't make that trade. No, Derek, don't make the trade.
it's always like, yeah, but like, what if he turns into the best version of himself? Hello, there's established players ready to be traded for right now, and plus, like, you could just keep drafting good players, and so they don't trade big top prospects for established players. They did. They traded their first round draft pick, flame throwing pitcher for Sonny Gray. They don't sign big money free agents in their prime. They've spent on Nelson Cruz at age 37 or 38, and Josh Donaldson, a few years removed from an MVP at 34. But when you're talking like the best free agents who are 28, 29, 30 years old, they generally aren't in the mix for those free agents. They did, Carlos Correa. And I think the other thing, too, that I know that I've hammered them for is because you're not going to have one of the biggest payrolls. It's not a salary cap league. There's not revenue sharing as much as there is in the NFL, where the money is mostly big national TV deals. that you're not going to outspend teams, even though you did in this case. So you need to get more creative with your trades. Like, you just got to find different ways to, involve a third team here and there, and they did. I mean, they spin the shortstop from Texas to the Yankees. They clear out Donaldson over here, bring in a younger 29-year-old Gio Urshela. Like, everything that they've been criticized for, rightfully so, they have one by one knocked out those criticisms to fix their baseball team this offseason.
Do you guys think that when the Donaldson trade was made, and after one day of IKF, that this was in the works, or that they hoped that they could get Story at that point, and this like developed late this past week? Like, how do you think this really went down?
Man,
because like the thought process, if this was in the works and didn't get out, is incredible.
I think it was probably. I think there's some last minute things happening here. First of all, these conversations could not take place for 3 months. So there's all sorts of like rapid fire communication happening in the last week since baseball was greenlit. And as dominoes start to fall, right? There's been these big signings and moves that like, okay, this team now needs this over here. So my guess is the Twins probably weren't high up on Correa's wish list, because why would they be? And the Twins were probably thinking, again, this is just speculation. I mean, we could put a phone call in, but like Carlos Correa is going to get a 7-year contract for $200 million, $300 million or somebody, right? But Carlos Correa probably wasn't getting the $30 million a year, the $210 million 7-year contract, 8 years, whatever, 240 that he wanted. And so the next step there is, okay, if we're not going to get the multi-year deal and the season starts in 3 weeks, what's our alternative? Let's go short. So let's bet on ourselves, go short term, and that opens up the door for more teams to come in. So, no, why was it the Twins and not the Yankees? Why was it the Twins and not the Red Sox? The Astros apparently offered him a short-term deal before the lockout for like $40 million.
I love
so
that.
I don't know why it's the Twins. Maybe there's some things about the team that he likes. Maybe he likes the lineup. I mean, look at this lineup. Your catcher is Gary Sanchez and/or Ryan Jeffers. A couple guys. I mean, Gary Sanchez at his best is a 30 home run guy, right? Strike out the other at bats. But Miguel Sano, we've been critical, but that dude can hit bombs. Jorge Polanco's become one of the better players in baseball. Luis Arraez, Jose Miranda's on the way at third base. Kirilloff, Buxton, Kepler, Larnick. I mean, you look at that lineup and you want to be a part of it. I could see that. So, but I ultimately, I don't know. Did the Twins outbid the Yankees? Did Carlos Correa have so much vitriol toward the Yankees for all of the back and forth cheating trash talk? I don't know, man.
So he fired. So Correa fired his agent, I believe. Right as the lockout started, it was right around that time, and I believe that was also after the point where Detroit had come through with a very significant multi-year offer that they turned down. Boros is an SOB. Like, he is the hardest person in the game, agent-wise, to deal with. So my guess is this comes down to the contract somehow, and I wonder if other teams balked at something, and I wonder if the amount of control, because like the Twins have basically, and again, I don't mind this, they've given the keys to the proverbial contractual car to Correa, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's got all of the, so I wonder if there was something about that contract that the rest of the teams were like, yeah, but I don't know. And the Twins, and again, if they did, I'm going to say this, good for them. If the Twins came in and said, screw it, this works for us. Like, worst case, he has a great year, which is great, right? And says, see you later. You deal with that then.
Vishwa says Correa didn't want to shave, which is why he didn't want to go to the Yankees.
Go to the Yankees?
Listen, guys, I'm really digging this offseason beard right now, and I just would really.
Well, what
prefer.
about and then what about the Astros, and what about I think that there's something in the contract probably that the Correa camp wanted, and that the rest of the teams sort of balked at, and the Twins, being the Twins, finally said, sometimes you have to say, what the F.
Let's play a hypothetical here. Let's say the Twins finally win a playoff game, but they...
Well, hold on a second. If you're going to say that, then the song has to play.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
What are we doing? Why am I producing this right now?
Twins, we're gonna score.
Let's say they finally win a playoff game and they make it to the ALCS, but they lose. They lose in the ALCS.
Sure.
And Correa opts out and he signs somewhere else. Is it all worth it for 1 year of Carlos Correa if they win a playoff game and he opts out?
I think you have to decide if it's worth it before the result. I don't think we can play the results. I think you have to decide right now. Whatever happens, if they miss the playoffs, was it worth it? To me, whatever the result winds up being, because the injuries could derail this thing, the White Sox could derail this thing. It is worth it. This window, Byron Buxton is one of the most talented special players in franchise history, and obviously injuries have held him back. But why would you re-sign Buxton for $100 million and then sort of retool around him while his speed erodes over the next 2 or 3 years, right? And then he had to move him to the corners of the outfield. Like, this is what they should do. Force the winning window back open, put those chips on the table in 2022, and then figure the rest out later. And if it means trading Royce Lewis and Trevor Larnach to the Oakland A's for 2 years of Frankie Montas, you don't look back. And if you miss the playoffs or you get swept, you don't question whether it was worth it. It is worth it with this current nucleus that's all in their primes right now.
And I think the important thing too here is now, and I am completely drunk on of course Twins Kool-Aid this second. I am swimming in that. But when I come down a little bit here, I will say this: if they don't make a trade now for one more really good arm, that's a shame. Because like this is where I feel that you are the difference between the Vikings and Twins is this right now. I don't think the Vikings, due to a lot of things, have a good enough team to take a shot. And because it's a cap league, you can't just say like, screw it, we're going to go sign guys, right? I feel like the Twins, if you go get another good starter and you can even tool and retool your bullpen on the fly, I feel with 6 playoff teams now, up from 5, and with a team that, as far as the lineup goes, is going to be pretty damn good. They're giving themselves, if you put Montas in, a real chance. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just a fluky chance; it's a real chance. I don't think the Vikings can. I think the Twins are like, it's not a cap league, and for 1 year, we're going to be the biggest, baddest, badasses on the block, or at least among them. And if the price is Josh Donaldson being traded, more power to you, baby.
Oh man,
more power.
I also love it because you lost Nelson Cruz, and Josh Donaldson was also a figure in that clubhouse. But you know, the two elder statesmen, sort of culture setters in that clubhouse. I think the chemistry last year was a little off. But if you go back to like 2020, and then Nelson Cruz's impact the year before on the Bomba squad, you're wondering, okay, those guys are gone, so who's leading this clubhouse now? Is it Buxton? He's more of a sort of a speak with his bat and speak with his speed kind of a guy. But Carlos Correa is leader of the clubhouse kind of a guy. Now you could say, yeah, he's leader of a cheating clubhouse from 4 years ago as well, but I think that stuff got pretty much squashed out the last 2 years, and you saw him perform at a peak level last year too. So this just feels like a team with some swag. It feels like a team where the weak spot in their lineup is still going to be someone who either bats close to 300 or can hit 30 home runs. And
oh my God,
I don't think you have to worry about them not trading for a pitcher.
Declan is contemplating right now season tickets. He's contemplating season tickets. I can see it in his eye. Look at the gleam. At least a 25-game package for Declan.
Season tickets.
I can feel it coming.
When I was awake at whatever, middle of the night, scrolling through Twitter, one of the first people I saw the Jeff Passan tweet, and then the next tweet I saw in my little Twins list was Dave St. Peter retweeting the Twins season ticket deal with the eyeball emojis.
Did he really? He's an awesome troller at times. That's great.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
Oh man. So I don't know, man. So the Twins, the Twins are all in. The Twins are all in. Carlos Correa, Sonny Gray, Gio Urshela. I'd rather have him than Josh Donaldson at this stage.
Right.
And they are in the mix, according to Marley Rivera from ESPN, pushing for Frankie Montas, who's one of the best starting pitchers in the American League. Let's get it.
Where
Let's
does
go.
this rank? And it's very, very high. I know that. Where does this rank among Minnesota sports acquisition surprises? There have been a few that have surprised.
Brett Favre, even though maybe the writing was on the wall a little bit, like Brett Favre is the George Washington on the Mount Rushmore, right? Just an oh my god
Hacker.
moment.
Yeah.
Jared Allen's pretty high. He wasn't as much of a household name, but it's like, whoa, the Vikings are
changed the dynamic completely. Mm-hmm. And you knew he was really damn good. Like that was no surprise. So, yeah. So I guess surprise is the wrong word. I'm looking for a different word. A pop, bang for your buck. Because Parisi and Suter we knew, but I mean that is still an unbelievable day. You know what? I'll say it right now. Kirk Cousins at the time. Because that was an oh my god, you are going for the richest quarterback and hence at the time the richest player on the market. It hasn't worked out as we hoped, but you know what? It's still a huge move.
Yeah.
But I mean, this one to come across at 2 a.m.
Dude, he is Carlos Correa. It's just amazing. We could read some more comments here. Ian, as bad as it was, the Parisi Suter signing is up there. Yeah, I think. I mean, but in the moment, you're like, wait, the Wild just landed the two biggest free agents on the market? What are you talking about?
And it actually, in defense of that move, it wasn't awful. It got them from a place of being boring and consistently at that time missing the playoffs to being a playoff team. It didn't get you where you ultimately were trying to go, but it wasn't certainly a disaster because I think with those two on the roster, I think you missed the playoffs once, and that was well after the fact. So
Correa, by the way, too, in the postseason.
Oh yeah,
just looking up his postseason numbers here. So he has a 505 career postseason slugging percentage, and he especially rakes in. Well, he rakes in every round, but yeah, he's a badass.
I'm just looking at 20-game plans right now.
You're up to a 20-game plan.
What are you finding?
Not bad. I a diamond box middle for $740 per seat for 20-game plan. I can request an appointment. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Upper deck down the line is really good.
I love the
not super high, but
I like the third baseline. Much to our former friend Rami Makloff's chagrin, the skyline and the view. I love the third baseline. I think that's amazing. I don't like looking at Terminal 2. I mean a roof like Miller Park has. So I like the skyline that's visible.
Welcome to Miller Park.
Any final thoughts from you guys? By the way, people are asking. There's Daniil Hunter news here too. We probably have to do a Purple Daily little episode here. Daniil Hunter's apparently they're just gonna pay his roster bonus.
Yeah, they're just gonna pay him.
And not save cap space.
I need to know more there. If you're not going to turn that into a signing bonus and smooth out the cap hit,
I don't know what they're doing.
I guess I don't get it.
They're literally running it back.
I just don't
with
get
an older roster that hasn't been above 500 in 800 days.
I will quickly say this. This is better than bringing Kirk back and trading Hunter. And what I want to know from all of you who have been tweeting me about that the last day or so and saying he never plays, Judd, he's hurt, Kirk plays, trade him. Now that he's going to, I guess, come back, how do you feel now? Because don't now pivot and say, Daniil's back, this is going to be great.
You can't get back on the way.
Because last night at 7 o'clock, as I was consuming Surly's and you guys were sending me notes. Yeah. I was getting, I'm glad he's going to be gone. 7 games in 2 years. Zolgad.
Yeah.
So you can't get back on the train now. We've taken from the station. We took off.
You know what though? It's fine. You know, if the Vikings, you want to take a back seat to the number one mover and shaker in town, the Twins, then you can do that. That's fine, Vikings. Always behind the Twins in terms of aggressiveness, moving and shaking.
We always have been. We've been talking Twins. I mean, you can't stop us.
I think we're probably going to talk Twins a lot more than we thought 48 hours ago now.
Yeah, would have thought.
Just a hunch. No, you guys tell us. Do you want us to talk Twins all the time? We were literally planning on just like almost never talking Twins because But now that they've made all these moves in the last 5 days,
Frankie Montas is
we're there for
next.
it. Yep.
Frankie.
All right. All right, we got to go get some coffee, some eggs. Declan's got to stop taking up the gal's family's entire basement right now.
Yeah,
here,
I think
so.
Kelly Pipes is about to destroy me for taking over her 3-monitor office here and moving her keyboard and mouse and God knows what.
You move stuff around?
I moved
Ooh,
stuff
better
around.
move
Now
it back.
you've
Ballsy
gone
decision.
too far.
Move it back.
Ballsy decision.
Now you've gone
from the
too
girlfriend's boyfriend or from a daughter's boyfriend. Yeah, that's the.
I got to
that's a good
get
idea.
to the X. We got a little afternoon puck drop. Blackhawks
yeah.
in the Wild.
That's right. All right. Well, the Twins chose danger, man. The Twins woke up
Always.
and said, "Screw it. Let's light this whole thing on fire. Let's go win the whole bleeping thing." So keep an eye out for a Frankie Montas trade here. Maybe another emergency episode. But Carlos Correa, best shortstop on the market, $35.1 million, the highest paid infielder in all of baseball in a Twins uniform. So click the subscribe button and the like button if you guys could to spread the word about this blossoming Twins community that we are set to build on Mackie and Judd. We'll see you guys.